Gender fluid doesn't sound like a very nice thing. To me, it sounds like something you'd watch on the internet. There's one woman and five guys and she ends up covered in gender fluid. But it actually refers to someone who doesn't identify with a fixed gender. In its simplest forms, this is someone who wakes up on a Monday, they identify as male, on Tuesday, they identify as female, and everything in between. I'll be honest, I've given up trying to understand it. It's 2018 and it's not hurting anyone. And also, being gender fluid obviously has nothing to do with your physical sex, your genitalia. If you've got a cock and bollocks when you go to bed tonight, in the morning you'll still have a cock and bollocks. Unless something very drastic has happened, but I'm fairly certain if someone was trying to remove my gentleman veg, it'd wake me up. But the important word is fluid. Gender fluid means not fixed. And the reason I've led with that is there's quite a high profile law case going on with a Dutchman, and I believe his name is Emil Ratelband or Ratelband, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And I've done a bit of digging. He doesn't seem like a nice chap. He's very extreme right, and what I'm about to discuss feels like a publicity stunt to attack certain minority groups. But he's come out and declared he is age fluid. Now, he's 69 years old and he wants to legally be able to say he's 49 years old because that's how old he feels. And one of his reasons, and I have to say this is good, is that when he's on Tinder, he gets much more matches when he says he's 49 to when he's 69. So if he wants to change the law just so it's easier to get his leg over, I have to say the man's a fucking legend. And this sort of story that you could be age fluid, I would usually be ripping this apart, pointing out how absurd it is, but I'm not going to because I'm well up for this. If you can be age fluid, I want to point out it isn't so I can get matches on Tinder because Mrs. Disgruntled would have words with me over that. If you can set your own age to suit your circumstances, that'd be fucking fantastic. Now, I was born in 1978. I am 40 years old. I'm just going to rephrase that. Biologically, I'm 40. See the way that's got that sniff of bullshit about it that makes it feel more real? But on Monday to Friday, when I'm meant to be at work, I'm going to be identifying as 70 years old because that way I'm entitled to a full state pension and my mortgage will be paid off. Now, the mortgage provider may disagree with me on that, but I will point out that their advisor told me that when I reach retirement age, the mortgage will be paid off, and 70 is well past retirement age. And if they don't agree with me, I will go to the internet and summon a veritable army of social justice warriors who will turn up and largely be ineffective. But it doesn't have to stop there. Holidays are very expensive for Mrs. Disgruntled and I, but a lot of places kids go free, so she can book on as she is now, and I will say for the entire holiday I'm identifying as an 8-year-old. I'm going for nothing. There's a restaurant up the road with a big sign on it, kids eat for free. I will put those fuckers out of business. I'll never cook again. Now, obviously driving there I'll have to identify as over 17 years old, but once I get through the door I'm a kid and I'll eat as much as I want. How much does it cost for a kid's train ticket? In fact, don't even worry about that. I'll get on any train anywhere, and if I'm challenged for my ticket I will say, excuse me, I am clearly identifying as an 8-month-old baby. So please leave me alone or I will cry and possibly shit myself. But the best thing about being age fluid is that despite my biological age being 40, when I walk past a kid's playground, I often look at it and think, I want to go on that. Wait, just back that up. I've realised how that sounds. When I go past a kid's playground, I look at the equipment, such as the swings and the slide and the zip line, and I think, I want to go on that. Just clarify that, I don't want the police kicking the door in later tonight. And as age fluid, I could get away with it, because that sign that says, only for children under 12 years old, well, I'm a kid, I'm under 12 years old, and with the other kids, if they kick off, I'll find out how old they are, and I'll identify as a year younger than them, because then they're fucking bullying me. But it's ridiculous. Saying you're a different age doesn't make you a different age. Although with this story, reading the comments online, most of the angry comments are coming from women who would be in about the right age gap if this guy was looking for them on Tinder. Late 40s, early 50s. And as much as I don't like the guy, I'm going to have to come out and defend him again. Because if he goes on a date and says he's 49 and his date doesn't challenge it, then more fool them. Because that's all he's making up. Have you seen some middle-aged women when they go on dates? Obviously their hair's dyed, they've got makeup that's been put on with a fucking trowel, high heel shoes, them tights that make them look thinner than they are, and a padded push-up bra. You take all that away, you couldn't pick them out in a fucking lineup. And if this date does lead to an overnight encounter, in the morning he's still going to look the same. Whereas, if this woman gets up in moral outrage that she's been lied to about his age and she slept with a makeup on, well love, you want to check the pillow before you go and take your fucking face with you. I'm sorry if I'm slipping on my words, I actually feel really rough today. I don't know what's wrong with me, I'd say it's my age, but I don't even know what that is anymore.